Hi, I'm the Free American Thinker, and today I wanted to talk about something that is actually really exciting and really fun for me. I love the idea of space, I love the idea of dimensions, I love the idea of exploring. What I wanted to talk to you about today is the idea of the stars and the Milky Way and the position of the stars themselves. What is that? Is that a map of 3D space? No, it is not a map of 3D space. This is the cool part. It is actually a clock, and I will represent that. This is a clock. You could say it is a map, right? The map is that there's these numbers, and then you got the hour and the finger and the second. And it's in a position at some point on a map, not that different than a map over there. But in fact, it is a clock. And all a clock does is take snapshots of the position of something through the time flow rate. If we were to take the Milky Way galaxy, see, this is the cool stuff I really like talking about. If we were to take, say, the black hole, and then we have the Milky Way with its spiral arms, you know, and all the little stars around it. Right, this is the Milky Way galaxy. All of these things are going to be moving in this direction. Given the theory of general relativity, there is going to be a mass, m, for the vector space of this galaxy. It is known, it is a value. That mass, as it moves at its rate of time, delta t, so we draw upside down, is going to have a point in time. What do I mean by that? If you were to look at what the ancients did and what we do still today, we look up at the sky and we go, oh, well, this star was here, this star was here, this star was here, this star was here, and this other star was here. Let's draw some lines. They were some amount of space in between each other. Doesn't mean a darn thing, to be honest. Because actually what you would do if we were to be communicating with other beings or ourselves in the future or in the past, actually what you would do is you would draw the different position of these stars and that different position, knowing the given timeshare rate of the flow of movement and mass around the Milky Way. You would actually be instead telling other people what time it is. Right? If we wanted to communicate with ourselves in the past, which is the idea of time travel, or with people in the future by them coming back to us, which in and of itself is the idea of talking into the future, that is how you would communicate. You would communicate by using a clock. You wouldn't just say, hey, I'm on planet Earth in the Milky Way. No, that's not good enough. You would have to say, hey, I'm in the Milky Way at the point in space-time of what on Earth was being considered 2020 AD. At this point in time, the stars were positioned like that. The reason why we need to understand that is because you do not live in space. You also do not live in time. You live in space-time. You live in a three-dimensional field, you know, X, Y, and Z, and there is a flow that this 3D space flows around the Milky Way and every galaxy in and of that example. In the XYZ plane, there is also the time field. The time field, this gets much trickier, but that is actually another T1, T2, and T3. It is a toroid of time flow of energy. Nikola Tesla and Einstein actually worked on this, and in the 1940s created the Philadelphia experiment, which worked. It was a success in the sense of it being a proof of concept. It's a whole other subject. But I wanted to start giving you some ideas as an expansion of how to actually rethink about what time is and space is. And I thought this was a great example of what the idea of the position of the Milky Ways and stars can serve to us, right? Because if we were to go back 10,000 years ago, the stars would be in a different position. If we were to go back another 500,000 years ago, the stars would then be in another different position. And if you were to dot or track on a chart the movement of those stars, you actually would have a time flow rate, i.e. a clock. Now you're starting to get into interesting thought of time travel, which is very real. as well as space travel. We have to remember that if you were to travel interdimensionally through space, you're not traveling through space, you're traveling through space-time. So you have to travel through space and time. A quick representation of that, and then I'll end the film, is the very fact that at this current point in time, I don't know however you can see it, this piece of paper is in my hand. I will wait 1 second. 1 second. Now the piece of paper is not in my hand. Interesting thought, isn't it? If we were to go back in time, the paper should be in my hand. So, what does that mean? If you travel through a point in space-time, let's say someone were to come back to when I was holding the paper, you can actually move in 3D space by actually not moving through 3D space at all. All you have to do is move through time. If you were to move in time, it would be bink. Another point in the same we'd be in the same position of space, but time would have been moved through its own flow of time. An interesting thought. God bless. The truth is inside of you.